Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy DT3, man, and I'm back at you with another video, man. New media. Notification gang. God Squad. It's what it is, man. You know, by popular demand. Who you got? Fury or Whyte? Who you got? Let's break this down. Personally, I'm going to go out on a whim. I'm going with Dillian Whyte. I said Fury, but I'm going with Dillian Whyte. And I know people gonna be like, hey, you going with Whyte? You going with Dillian Whyte? Fury's gonna do da-da-da. Let me tell you. I was watching G5 Jeff and Shane's podcast. Shout out to G5 Jeff and Shane. Go subscribe to G5 Jeff TV if you haven't. And I was watching them, and Shane broke that shit down so beautiful. I mean, that man can break down fighters way better than I can. I'm gonna be real with you. I could break down some shit, but that man can break down some shit that it's just impeccable how he do that shit. Shout out to my boy Shane, man, for real, for real. That Shane, you my nigga if you don't get no bigger. But anyway, basically what Shane was saying, some of the same things I think too, is that if Fury let Dillian Whyte stay mid to close range, it's gonna be a tougher fight for Fury. It's still a winnable fight for Fury in that, but it'll be a harder fight for him to win. He can't fight him in the trenches like he fought Otto Wylene or even Deontay. He cannot fight Dillian Whyte in that type of close quarters combat type of a fight. It's not going to go well for him because that's Dillian Whyte's thing, is staying in mid to close range. That's his shit. So he fights that fight that might be harder for Tyson Fury. But at the same time, with Tyson Fury being able to, hold you, kind of maul you, put his weight on you, and all that, that's where it might work to Fury's favor. But at the same time, you got Dillian Whyte, who is not afraid to go to the body. So when he's in close quarters, he's going to be ripping to the body. And I know he's going to be ripping hard shots to the body. And I don't think Tyson Fury is going to like that too much. So I really honestly believe if the fight stays within mid to close range, it's going to be geared for Dillian Whyte to kind of be the victor. Now, if the fight goes full 12 rounds, I highly doubt that Dillian Whyte will be able to pull out a unanimous decision or a split decision or a majority decision. I feel like that if it go 12 and Dillian Whyte don't put Tyson Fury on his ass multiple times, then they're going to give the W to Tyson Fury. You not getting out of the politics of boxing in that. They will rob you blind. You know what I'm saying? Like Dillian Whyte could be beating Fury's ass for 12 rounds, and if Fury knocks him down one time, boom, that's enough to give Fury the win because of where he's at politically in the sport. But I do believe if Fury fights like how he fought Wilder the first time, being really irky-jerky, throwing a lot of feints, freezing up Dillian Whyte's offense, making him hesitant to come forward or throw anything, that's Tyson Fury all day long. Dillian Whyte ain't gonna know what to do. And if Tyson Fury fights that fight, that's easy work. Which I do believe Tyson Fury gonna do, but for some reason I just in my heart I got a gut feeling that Tyson Fury is going to fatigue. He's going to fatigue because he's going to be moving too much, and he's a big dude. It take a lot of energy to move that big ass all around that ring for 12 rounds or for 30 minutes, right? And I think Dillian Whyte gonna come in that fight really hungry, and he's not gonna take too many, if any, backward steps. He's gonna be constantly coming forward. No matter what Tyson Fury do, he gonna come forward. So I think Tyson Fury is gonna have a problem in some instance with Dillian Whyte's pressure, because Dillian Whyte pressure ain't Deontay Wilder pressure. It's totally different. And if you could and this is the fucked up shit I don't understand, if you could give Deontay Wilder rounds just for coming forward and throwing maybe 1 to 2 punches, how they gonna score it when Dillian Whyte is coming forward and he's throwing? Now, that don't mean that Dillian Whyte is not going to be missing some shots, because Fury do got decent head movement. He will miss a couple of shots here or there, especially those left hooks, those looping left hooks. I'm sure he's going to miss a couple of them sons of bitches. But the thing is my thing, honestly, is who going to get fatigued first. For real, the person that gets tired first is the person that's probably gonna lose. Because Dillian Whyte is gonna have to come forth, put pressure, constant pressure. That could fatigue him. Tyson Fury is going to have to constantly move. He can't stay in the close quarters, close trenches with him, because Dillian Whyte got enough punching power and decent technique, way more than Wilder, and he can't hold Dillian Whyte the way he held Wilder. Wilder. That's not gonna work. Not on Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is a different dude. So what worked with Wilder is not gonna work on Dillian Whyte. And then vice versa. What works on Dillian Whyte may not work on Wilder. It go both ways. So I honestly feel that I do believe Dillian Whyte is going to put the pressure on him. Dillian Whyte is going to be throwing the most punches in the fight. I think you're going to see more of Tyson Fury being more defensive than offensive because of the pressure Dillian Whyte's putting on. Not because Tyson Fury just wants to be defensive. It's going to be due to the fight that he's in. Because of the pressure Dillian Whyte's putting on him, he's going to have to be a little more defensive. He's going to have to be a little more smarter about his defense than he was when he fought Deontay Wilder. So I got Dillian Whyte. I'm going with Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte's pressure, and I think Dillian Whyte going to catch him with some, and I think he's going to hurt him to the body. I don't think he's going to catch him with shit to the head. I think Dillian is going to hurt him to the body. And that's what's going to be the difference maker, is Dillian Whyte's body work. So I know some people are going to be like, well, you don't want Tyson Fury going to do that. And I agree with you. I know Tyson Fury is going to do some good things in the fight. I agree with that. But for some reason, I just feel like Dillian Whyte ain't Otto Wallin. And if Otto Wallin did what he did to you, bro, I think Dillian Whyte going to have a better showcase fight with you. You know what I'm saying? Than Otto Wallin. Because I do think that Dillian Whyte is a better fighter than Otto Wallin. Period, point blank. So I think Dillian Whyte is going to give Fury way more fits. Because honestly, they should have stopped the Otto Wallin fight based on the cut, because if that had been any other fighter, they would have stopped that shit. And I'm not saying that Tyson Fury would have lost if they would have went to the scorecards. I think he probably still would have got the W had they would have went to the scorecards. But if they would have found out that that cut came from a punch, because I didn't do the research on that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't do the research to find out if that cut came from a punch or a headbutt or whatever. I didn't do the research on that. So forgive me for that. And if you know, feel free to put it in the comment section. But I'm going with Dillian Whyte. I think Dillian Whyte's pressure and the volume punches is going to break, and the body work is going to break Tyson Fury down. And I also think that Tyson Fury has a habit of kind of talking too much. You know, calling, like, bro, how you gonna call Dillian Whyte a coward? That's dumb. You're a coward, but he fighting you. A coward is somebody who avoids shit. If he was a coward, he wouldn't have fought you. He wouldn't be trying to fight you. So some shit you say, bro, you just trying to, you honestly, Tyson, you running out of shit. You running out of shit to talk. Because you're starting to become repetitive in your shit talk. But anyway, going with Dillian Whyte, the pressure, the body work, and the volume punches, it's going to be the difference in the fight. But like I said, if Tyson Fury is more defensively sound like he's supposed to be, and he's making Dillian Whyte chase him, then obviously that's going to be an easy Tyson Fury win. But I do think that Dillian Whyte got the skill to cut the ring off and do some great things in this fight. So I'm going with Dillian Whyte, man. Who you got, man? 1.